What's up, people? Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Cup Chasers podcast. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. It's been a wonderful weekend in the Champions League, and we have a massive Manchester derby at the weekend. Plenty of other games to get to as well. Arsenal host Sheffield, Chelsea host Brentford, and it's going to be a bloody Sunday, if you ask me. Lots of big teams playing little teams, but we will obviously get into it. Go ahead and get the likes up on the video, people, right out of the rip, and subscribe if you're new. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Only one place to start, of course, the Manchester derby. Lewis, I did get to look at the highlights of the Champions League match. Any thoughts before we get into Sunday? What are we thinking about the Young Boys match? Good win.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is Haaland scored, and I think that was super important that, they showed some consistency. They started out in a way that is, I think, sort of super important in essence of kind of trying to play a different lineup and also get some people some rest. But at the same time, it showed that there's still some holes, and I did like the meme I sent you before. Haaland's face of when De Bruyne comes back, he's gonna really, really miss him and appreciate him. So I think that part will be super, super important.
Yeah, for sure. I thought that just based on the highlights, at least, that Haaland looked like he had a fantastic match. Not just his goal contribution, but also he got the assist for the Alvarez goal. He looked like he was linking up way more than you would expect from Haaland. So maybe I was right from last time out that that solo goal kind of he's pushing on from there.
Well, I think for him, it's an important that Pep said it best that because of what he did last year there and scoring so many sort of multiple goal games, that there's an expectation of him that he's going to score like that all the time. And so you kind of take something from that and think, well, I mean, it's his fault in a way, but it's also not his fault, because now we just expect when people do something once, they're going to just keep doing it all the time. And that's unrealistic, but we're spoiled because we have basically grown up in the Messi, Lewandowski, Harry Kane, Ronaldo era of guys just doing that on a regular basis, and we have to kind of get back to hey, these guys are just like Haaland is 23. He's growing into.
Absolutely. I think that all of the criticism about, hey, he's not doing as good as he has been, but he has 14 goals this season already, all competitions. So that's on pace with last season. It's not like he's dropped off at all. Just because he doesn't score for 3 games doesn't mean he didn't score 9 goals in 4 games, the previous 4. It's just not. If he doesn't score a hat trick every game, he's rubbish. I think it's just the hype, the criticism is just too much, and I think that he's already coming back into where people can't say anything. I'm scared. I'm still scared even without Kevin De Bruyne.
Well, the funny thing is last year he dealt with something similar to that, where there was a period where he was going through a goal drought, and people was like, "Oh, is he human?" And the only reason it's sort of anything there is because he set that record. You're like, "Oh, well, he's just supposed to do it. It's easy." And people ignore the fact that the league and the players and the teams adjust to those things, so they get better at defending you, and you have to adjust to what they're doing, but you can't adjust to what they're doing until you actually know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But he wasn't the only one. I thought Foden looked good as far as I saw. Alvarez gets the goal as well. Not necessarily an unexpected result, but the turf gave you troubles, apparently. But other than that, yeah, good win going into the weekend. Still important to get that win for momentum's sake, right?
I mean, 9 points is important because you got those 9. I think we play Young Boys again on the next fixture. I think I'm not. I don't have it up on my screen yet,
At
but
the empty head.
yes. And so I think that's important because the thing is that from this point forward, I mean, realistically, we only need to get one more win, and it's kind of a walkthrough. But they want to win them all because I mean, that's what they did last year. They won all of their games. They didn't win them all. They just went without losing. Let's say that because they drew with Madrid.
You gave
But
one goal the whole tournament.
yeah, and so you think about that, and you want to just kind of maintain that momentum that this is something that we're trying to establish as a personality trait for the team so they can go forward, but also because there's still sort of that uh mix and match thing kind of going on with the team, so you're trying to find a consistent lineup where guys can develop some sort of regularity and chemistry dealing with sort of how they play, so you can predict where people are. For example, you mentioned Alvarez. A lot of people there several shows are like, well, should Alvarez leave because he's getting overshadowed by Haaland at City. And every person with the brain was like, that would be stupid for him to leave, number one, because the team is basically catered around how he plays, not actually how Haaland plays. And secondly, he plays everywhere across the front. So anywhere he wants to play, he plays across the front. And the biggest thing is that he's almost undroppable. He's been the best player in the team for the year. I mean, because he's one of the few who none of them have made mistakes in that way where you're like, what are you doing, right? Like, you got Rodri, you had a Foden thing, you had a Diaz, you name a guy and you're like, hey man, what are you doing? Alvarez is the only one. He's been consistent and he's always had that sort of work rate, so he's turning. I mean, he was always the spider, but he's trying to kind of sort of be the spider who he was in South America.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a good shot for sure. Alvarez is having a fantastic season, and he is a little bit overshadowed physically, even by Haaland. But he's definitely bringing the goals this season. It's a fantastic finish, I thought, in that one. But coming up at the weekend, massive clash, and your opponents, Manchester United, have had a very similar performance in the Champions League to what they've been doing against Copenhagen. Boos at halftime, actually. I don't know if y'all caught any of this one.
Yeah.
Booed off at halftime, not really create much, struggling mightily, and then, a darling of the club, an old man.
Sir Harry Maguire.
That's Sir Harry Maguire to you.
Sir Harry Maguire to you. Coming and saving United. Dude, and that's the thing, right? I think Ten Hag and Harry Maguire have an issue. This just shows how much Harry Maguire loves United more than he hates Ten Hag, because he could have easily got my man fired here.
You're calling for it, man. You're just calling for it. I don't care what game it is. I want to see Ten Hag fired. That's what I'm hearing from you.
Well, like we texting, like I saw you text in the chat or whatever. An 8-0 from City here, I would adore. That's gonna get him fired. I'm all for it. All for it. But yes,
I would love it.
I think they got saved in this game. Like, I did catch.
For sure.
I was rooting. If United are playing, I want them to burn. So I was like, all right, I'll watch this one. Send a little love. And when he hits this, man, I turned, like, I was just like, all right, off to something else. Like, it just infuriated me because I don't think they deserve. I thought a draw was deserved in this game, man.
I mean, Onana stands on his head
for once for United.
Yeah, one game so far this season, but and it wasn't just the penalty save at the end. No. He's made a number of decent saves in this game because they were getting peppered.
Yeah,
the highlights were like a lot of Copenhagen chances as well.
Probably like 3-1, maybe is the math. Yeah,
so it was a very even game, and these are the kinds of games that United have been playing where they've been poor and they've found ways from Johnny Evans or Scott McTominay or these guys from yesteryear.
Nobody.
But all the new guys, like Anthony has had another couple of shockers since he's come back in the team. Just subbed off after 60 minutes, had another terrible game. And so my point about them just barely getting over the line in these games, while yes, that's commendable, you're not playing Copenhagen at the weekend. You're not playing a team who one goal from 30 seconds of quality in a match is going to do it. Sure, if you get your 30 seconds and Harry Maguire gets his 2 minutes of fame and you poke the bear and you hold 7, then maybe we'll give you a goal. But what are you telling me, Lewis? Because I'm scared for you. I'm scared for United.
Well, first of all, it's a derby, so you never know what you're going to get from a derby. Arsenal with Chelsea had that experience. Arsenal with Tottenham. You just don't know what you're going to get from a derby. It's at Old Trafford, so that means that we remember what happened there last year. And while I don't live in the past, we do live with the reality that it's always going to be a challenge in a derby game to get points off of them there. I mean, obviously, City is a better team right now, form-wise, player-wise, run-wise, all of that. And so you look at that and you want to kind of say, well, I mean, if you're being optimistic, you're like, oh, they're going to smash them. I mean, I live in the reality that, even when City beat them, 6-1, it still was a 1, right? And so I think, not that we're in predictions, but I'll give a prediction. I think City will win 3-1. But I also think it's something where it's about, just sort of finding the consistency in the lineup. And the thing is that you had Harry Maguire save the team, and they were at home in this game. But then you talk about Onana, and then you have the news that David De Gea is being to be brought back to the team because it's something that you're like
the AFCON because the African Cup of Nations. But I've also heard that rumor was leaked from somebody who works for the Sun, who is completely disreputable, is not a good source. But it's caught like wildfire. I've seen it everywhere.
I mean, it would be.
It doesn't make sense. I mean, it doesn't make sense why they drop him.
Right.
The whole day, the whole story here, whatever we're not hearing from either side, makes no sense. Why do you drop your Golden Glove winning?
Yeah, that's a Chelsea move if ever I've seen one.
Ever I've seen
15 shutouts? Oh, you got half the shutouts from half the games? Yeah, done. You're fired.
Guess what? Your contract said you would get 18. Fired.
You're out. 16.
Yeah. You're one off. Fired.
Oh, best shutout record in the league? Yeah, done. No, that's not good enough.
No, not good enough.
What are you doing?
No.
And then to turn the 180, but yeah, man, I don't think it matters who's in between the sticks on Sunday. I believe this game is. Yeah. But the Old Trafford factor. Anything, Patrick? You think the Old Trafford factor going to play a role? I see the eye roll, the classic eye roll.
No, I don't. I mean, it's always something to consider, but when a team's just that much better than you, and City still really does miss KDB. I think that's the one thing that I've noticed when I've watched them. They still find ways to score. They do it in different ways than they used to with KDB and Haaland. You got Alvarez, you've got Doku, you've got Foden. So, I mean, I don't think there's ever a question, will City score enough? But I do think with Rodri back in the middle, controlling things, it's going to be very difficult for United not only to get the ball, but to get forward. And so, I mean, unless they just give somebody a red card to give somebody a red card, which, I mean, it is the FA, so you never know. I don't think there's much in this for United. By the way, did you see Garnacho?
I didn't even see what he posted, but I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Something about the war, right?
No. He posted something about Andre Onana. It was 2 apes on social media.
Oh my goodness!
He is Brazilian. My man's Brazilian.
Teammate, though. What are you doing?
And so, and then he deleted it, but the
Too
FA
late.
saw it, and the
Yeah.
FA might actually suspend him for a game because of it.
That's ridiculous.
So
That's the same as Everton getting one charge, and they're about to face a 12-point ban. Meanwhile, Man City's got 115 charges pending, but they're not going to get a point deduction for 4 years.
If you're gonna cheat, you better win. You better win. You don't cheat and almost get relegated. Come on, man.
So they get double punished for being crap?
Yes, because that means you don't even know how to cheat properly. I mean, come on, man. Hey man, if you're gonna cheat, at least get success. Don't cheat and fail. You know,
The real punishment should be Everton has to go play in the Italy League and see how well they do cheat.
Yeah, exactly. Just steer into the skid. If you're gonna be a cheater, go play in Serie A with the rest of them.
Exactly.
But Patrick made a point
goodness.
that I thought was interesting is like how City was better. But again, we remember last year City was head and shoulders better than them last year, and we went to Old Trafford and it was 13 against 11, man. And the thing is that that's enough because it's a derby and it means something sort of.
They hate each other. Yeah.
It's not that easy to kind of like just be like, hey, because we're better, we'll beat you. Because again, if games were played on paper, Spurs wouldn't be number one.
Yeah,
true.
Sure.
What I mean, the thing though is I think United last year just defensively was stronger at that time than they will be this weekend. I mean,
old Ariel will be back for sure.
Oh, he starts. He gets to start.
The hero.
Not
Harry.
He might get the
armband.
He play on my man.
Yeah, it'll be Maguire and Varane again.
I mean, think about it though. Like, take that out of it. You had the Golden Glove winner in between the sticks, and now you got Andre Onana, who I still am just blown away because last year he was fantastic. And this year he looks like he doesn't know how to save a goal, but he did save the day on Wednesday. So maybe that gives him some confidence, but
he's going to need it.
He's going to need it. Exactly. And I'm interested to see if United tries to get physical with Haaland, because he will shrug both of those guys off. Yep, not because Varane's not good enough. It's just Varane's not athletically able now to stay with Haaland, and it'll show.
He'll talk. Well, I mean, Maguire will fight. Maguire will give him a fight.
True.
But if there's ever a moment where Haaland's making a run or something, some kind of darting, and you're asking Maguire to keep up with him, no.
No. Exactly.
That's going to be rough. But I think it's going to depend a lot on what Ten Hag does to approach this game as far as his midfield. A lot of the times, Casemiro has been left by himself, and he's looked 1,000 because people are just running right by him because he's having to cover so much ground. If that's the case, like if he goes Mount, I mean, Mount's been out of favor a little bit, but I think we're going to see Eriksen from the start, more of a defensive, and Bruno will have a little bit more freedom.
They're
going to get wrecked.
Oh, they're going to get wrecked.
What I'm expecting is Rashford, Højlund, Anthony, Bruno, Eriksen, Casemiro, just like last season.
What about old Scotty?
It actually might be Amrabat. It might be Amrabat, McTominay, and Bruno. I could see that as well. Same kind of thing, though.
Yeah.
Because they have to try to clog up that midfield. And even still, I mean, Foden. I can see Foden having a field day. He got a hat trick at the Etihad last season against him. Haaland had a hat trick last season at the Etihad. This. I just. The Old Trafford record, the hoodoo, was shattered. Already this season. So there's no we don't lose at Old Trafford. Well, yeah, you do. So I think it's one of those things like I was saying last week where, Chelsea are at perhaps, their worst point in a long time. So Arsenal should be going there no mercy. and destroying you. City flying high, looking, trying to break records.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, United are having one of their most torrid runs.
And we know it can get ugly quick.
Yeah,
under 10. Like we know it can go.
We've seen it. We've seen them in 7
right
and 5. So this, I myself have gone for a 4-1. Lewis, you said 3, and I think my only acknowledgement of the Old Trafford effect is giving them 1 goal. A freak counterattack or something. But I think there is also a little bit to be said for what, Lewis, you were saying is, some of these guys who haven't been performing are going to see this game as I need to step up. Yeah. So if Rashford and Bruno come out and have a game and keep it respectable, I wouldn't be surprised with that as well.
Do you think it's in the cards that United have just been playing bad all season, just to fool City into and then just
no.
It's just not there.
I'm not gonna lie. I will be utterly shocked with anything other than a City win.
Yeah,
I will be mystified if United somehow get a point in this game. I guarantee it's because City have laid an egg, have had an absolute stinker. Because you can't play poorly over and over and over and over and over and over again and get away with it and just get away with it and don't get the keeper call in the Wolves game and get 2 freak last-minute goals in first time Brentford. Right. You can't, and get, off one moment of nastiness in the Palace game. How many examples do you want?
Yeah.
When you come up against a team who, like City, can be ruthless and the best in the land, obviously we know this. So if City show up at all, I think they walk. I think it's just a field day. And there is a world where this could be absolutely embarrassing.
I'm here for it. Here for that one, man.
You got a score line for us? Or go ahead, Lewis, before we get to scores.
No, go ahead. Go do the score.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 3-0. I don't think they have any. I think
utter dominance.
I get it. They're just not gonna have the ball. They're not gonna have
that's the thing, right? Will Ten Hag try to play ball? Because
if he does, he's going to get wrecked.
That's what they did.
None of their midfield players can keep up with the City midfield. I'm talking about speed. Just take skill out of it. Just foot race to foot race, 50-50 ball. Who on City's team or on Manchester United's midfield isn't on a stretcher or in a walker trying to get to that? Casemiro's old as dirt. He's not beating Rodri to a ball. Eriksen's not beating anybody to the ball. Maybe my grandma, and she's in the grave.
Doku's about to run circles.
Yeah, you're not beating Doku to a ball. He's fast. He's actually quick.
What you think, Lewis? Dallo will be out there on the right?
Isn't
versus Doku?
I thought Wan-Bissaka played over there.
He's injured.
He's gone.
He's been injured.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's been injured. Yeah.
Oh well. Oh.
I think it'll be Reguilon on the left and Diogo Dallo on the right, who's got a little bit of a turn of pace, but I think Doku's gonna rip him to shreds.
Dude.
Well, I mean, the funny thing is I'm unsure who he starts because obviously, Haaland's up top, Alves is there. Then Foden will probably be on the right. I don't know if it's Doku or Grealish because he's trying to get Grealish back into the team. I think
Grealish was great versus Young Boys.
He was good. He was good, but I mean, it's Young Boys too. So at the same time, I mean, I'm being honest that Young Boys are not a Premier League team, so I'm not gonna say, hey, they're them. It's not the same. Then you got what Bernardo will play, Rodri will play, and I don't know because Stones will start because all the guys who were on the bench are gonna play just like they did the last game. So Stones will start. Well,
Akanji's suspended, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. He
caught the red, right?
Red last game at the end.
But Vardiol didn't play in the last game, which is why he was on the bench. So Vardiol will start there.
They're fine.
So I mean, I'm just trying to think. I mean, it's just it's the video I sent to you where they're missing passes to Holland. They're just missing them because if De Bruyne at least, well, I mean, again, we keep talking about him like he's a regular guy that everybody can do what he does, but there's some of the things where it's vision. And again, we're watching from far away, and I mentioned this before, but there's some of those passes where you're like, hey, just put the ball there. He'll go get it, and so my question is are they going to give him those chances? Because if they put chances like that to him, yes, we're putting him to the board. But it matters of, are they going to do that? Because, for example, Bernardo has been holding up the ball. The only people I've seen who make those passes are Foden and Alvarez. And it just depends on where they are, right? So, I mean, and again, like X, you mentioned, like they shouldn't be there. There's no pace. But, I mean, Rashford got a goal where he was a mile off sides, and then it was whatever, right? And they pretended like it didn't even happen, So those things happen, and I mean, I can go back to a bunch of different derbies where City was better than them. I specifically remember in 13 when they had no business winning the league. I mean, no business. They weren't even good, man. And City just gave it to them, and City were better than them. So,
is that the year Berbatov won the Golden Boot off the bench?
So. It was something stupid, man. And so you look at that and you just say,
that's a throwback.
You say, they should win, they should walk. But at the same time, there's something about playing your rival, right? There's just something to it.
But those moments can happen, like those moments, then that's when you pour it on. And this is like Jake was saying. I think Jake was talking about it with the Arsenal-Chelsea game. Like, if you're going to do it, like, if you're going to 4-0 us right now, like, now's the – like, when we did it to Arsenal, that was kind of the time. Like, this is the time to embarrass.
Absolutely. Look at if you go back to the 8-2 that United put on Arsenal, and you look at the Arsenal lineup, you probably won't recognize half the team because of how wounded, how in the absolute dumps we were. And they absolutely wrecked our, what, and I think that is what's on the docket. That's what the mentality should be. Now, are we going to see an 8 deuce? I doubt it. I would love it, but I doubt it. But but like I said, there is a world where it's just a steamroll.
If it happens, Lewis, if it happens.
I want to see Lewis coming on here.
He's the most humble one.
I want to see you coming on here with a hold that, like screaming like expressions.
But here's the thing, right? Like, one, if I did that, obviously it'd be a very different version of me. But I'm gonna shoot really straight, right? I shouldn't be excited about beating them because we're better than them. Like, there should be nothing extra. We were supposed to do that. Like, literally, that was what was supposed to happen. Like, now, if it's like, if we 10-hog them and 10-0 them, then I might talk some. I might talk a little bit on that one. But again, I also have to live with the humble pie of the other side, right? Yeah. If they draw, that's a super disappointment, right?
That's an awful result.
Awful result.
And then then you have the chance. Because again, you don't play games on paper. They're at home. Is it possible? Sure. But I look at it and everything says there's no reason. But they got one last year that they had no business getting.
Yeah.
Not to mention all of your rivals, all of the title rivals. Pool play Forest, we play Sheffield, and Spurs play Palace. So that looks like 3 wins, but again, it's not on paper, but it's definitely an important time in the league for sure.
Pool dropped 5 today, so I expect them and Newcastle will be trying to come back to form. Arsenal will be looking to be back. No, I mean they've been fine. It's just matter of fact, it's just steadying the ship and stuff like that. Because Jesus had an amazing game, which is why Real Madrid wants them, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, we'll get to it. We'll get to Jesus for sure. But what you telling me, Patrick? You got a score? What do you think's going on with this one?
I don't think United scores. Even though Old Trafford usually does get them something, I just think that
Oh, they'll get some VAR call.
Yeah, unless they get some bogus VAR call and they get a penalty. I mean, Rashford really hasn't shown up this year like he did last year. You know, I don't know who's going to score for him. Maybe Højlund, but I don't see him beating Diaz or who's the other center back's going to be.
Who do you think, or will it be Stones since Akanji is out?
Stones.
Stones.
Yes, it'll be Stones.
And who's inverting?
Diaz, Akanji, Stones, and then Vardiol. It'll be those four.
Okay.
No, Walker is going to play. What am I talking about?
Walker
will play right back.
Walker will play.
So Walker, Stones, Diaz, Vardiol.
And Vardiol, yeah.
And then Walker will invert, and it'll be opposite. It's usually how that goes when Gavardio, because Gavardio doesn't do the inverted thing.
Dude, they're about to
He does. He just doesn't do it much.
They're about to get smoked. Oh my god.
Well, if Bruno is out wide on the left, then the inversion from the right hand side is fine. You know, because Walker can keep up with anyone bar Rashford on that squad. So, you know.
So I mean, that's my point. I just don't know how they're gonna beat United. I mean, and Chelsea plays them a ways down the road, and I can see a way, you know, and that's taking the bias out of it. I can see a way where Chelsea would be able to score against City. I can't see it with United. I just can't. So I went with 3-0. I think it'll be comfortable. I think City first 20 minutes kind of fills them out, scores in like the 30th minute, go to halftime, they score about 60th minute, and they wrap it up on the 80th minute.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it'll be comfortable. I expect Holland to get 2. So
At least.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree 100%. Definitely looking forward to it. I got to say, you know, of all the games, like I said last time out, usually I don't care who City's playing. I don't even look. I just cheer against them.
Can't do it, man.
Not doing it this week.
This week, yeah.
This you know, very few times am I going to be like, all right, let's cheer for City. But I'm not only cheering for City, I kind of want to see Max Payne.
That's what I'm saying.
Like I want to see a battering.
I want to see a burn, man. I'm just gonna be sitting back,
just going, oh, hurts so good.
You know, it makes our pain early this year and late last year a lot better if United experience just as much pain. Like,
just keep going with it.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I am as well. But yeah, definitely. It's going to be a fantastic game. Looking forward to it. That is on Sunday. It's definitely going to be a Sunday for, you know, goals. But we will revert back to the very first game of Saturday.
No, we got one tomorrow.
We do have a game tomorrow. You're right. But the very first game of Saturday is where we're headed. Chelsea hosting Brentford. Chelsea off the back of 4 straight really good, I would say, performances overall. Haven't lost in 4 games, you know, and Brentford also coming off the back of a strong performance. So this one maybe a little tricky, maybe a little something in it. It is a London derby. What are you telling me, guys?
I mean, like you said, I think we're in form. I think we found our stride. I think dropping the game can go one of 2 ways mentally, right? Like we can still take, hey, we played up to Arsenal, took home a draw. Yeah, we technically throw the game away, but we did play a little bit above expectation. We have this run of form going for us. Like I said, we're consistent in our lineup. We're consistent in who we have available for Posh for one of the first times, and we're seeing that consistency. And I don't think we deviate from the game plan. I think we go out there, we take our high press. We try to play our style of ball, and I don't think Brentford has a lot going. You know, they're kind of at a loss for identity, and without the hold-up play, I think we smother it enough to get enough chances to get goals. That's Chelsea's problem, right? It's the lack of clinical in front of goal. When we get chances, we don't. I think they give us enough to where we do get 1, we do get 2. That's where I just see that. That's where I hope the game goes. That's where I kind of see the game going, just from recent form from both teams. Like I said, Chelsea's come out with that press. Like we know, you can know what to expect now. I mean, that's one thing. You know how we're going to play you. We played everybody that way for the last since we had this lineup. And nothing.
I think your outside backs are going to be important in this game because
Yes.
it's weird. Brentford, even though there's no Tony, they'll still hoof a few balls down the wings and let Wissa and Mbomo go after him. If you look back to the Burnley game, they were just toasting Burnley on the wings.
Yeah.
So
Burnley had so much space.
Yeah, I think y'all will not be. It will not be the same. And I think that you can be encouraged. I mean, is it going to be Cuckoo again, or is James fit enough to start?
I think it's Cuckoo again with Gusto.
So Cuckoo Gusto. I mean, based on last game, that
I'm fine
That's
with
your
it.
strongest defensive wing
With who we have.
Yeah, when y'all shut down Martinelli and Saka, Mbomo and Wissa. No disrespect,
right?
You're not Saka Martinelli.
I mean, they can get Brentford's just one of those teams that kind of always pesters you enough to get one. They don't really give that up. I worry about that, but I go back to this thing, like, barring the 2 goals we give to Arsenal, which one just
you said it right. You gave us.
Just gave
it to us.
We scored a bonehead goal. Fine. I'll call it 1-1 on that, but we get both goal. Like, anyway.
Yeah. See the last time. We won't get back into that. See the last episode for all of that.
Anyway, but Brentford's one of those teams that pesters you, and I hope that we can defensively withstand that with where we're at. Because again, the consistency means something. I think that speaks a lot to like City and what Arsenal are putting together. Chelsea's had lack of consistency since we lost Tuchel. We lost players after that. We lost our manager. We lost our owner. We're finally kind of getting into this groove of consistency, and we see good form come out of it. So it's very, to me, it's very promising. I'm not sold on some of these guys. I think they're underperforming for what we paid. I get it's a project. Again, I see other 22-year-olds playing way better. But I get Chelsea's kind of setups new, right? Like Pochettino's going after this system that he's playing, and he's telling, they're going to field him 6 players that fit this role, and then he's going to pick who he wants to progress in it. So I get that that's kind of how the new age of this club's going to be run under Bowley, and since the hands have come off and Pochettino's really kind of steering the ship, it's better than where we were. So I'm not complaining, but I do think we take it to Brentford. I'm going to say it's a 1-0.
1-0. Has this little run of form given you a little bit of patience for old Potterchino?
Only because, it's the positive. It's the positive. He's getting the most out of Conor Gallagher. I've hated on some of these Chelsea players and the Chelsea's, and it's back and forth, right? Like we all pick our poison. Haven't liked Sterling since we signed him. Sterling's playing well. Other people haven't liked Connor since he started. Connor's playing well. So he's kind of brought this balance into the who hasn't been performing and then who has, and he's really blended that together to kind of share the wealth. Like Caicedo, I'm not sold on. Had 2 great games, might be decent. Enzo, still not the playmaker I want, but again, you can see him kind of balancing this in and playing to their strengths. And that to me is more promising than just saying with his system being consistent as well. So it's both. I like seeing someone, that's something we didn't have. Potter went out there and just told the boys to play. Boys play different every game almost.
Remember what we did in the pool? Let's go do that.
Yeah, let's go do that. Let's just have a day. And it's like, that's just one way to look at it. And, this is a system. You can see the tactics here again. And that's something that we've lacked. You can see the players. You can see the wings understanding where they're supposed to be and giving space and taking space. Again, not getting caught up in the box with Chile on the PK mark every time he makes the run.
Well, when he's not deployed at left wing.
Exactly. Right. Well, when he doesn't have to be left wing, we actually have players to play. So
I think you've nailed it. Or go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I think that's just it. I think it's just he has enough personnel now to make this work, and that's promising.
I think you've nailed it. I think a lot of the times you see the best teams don't have to completely switch up the tactics game to game. They make these little tweaks. And the best example, a good example that springs to mind, obviously, is you guys were able to play, similarly to what you have in the games running up to the Arsenal game, but then you made some tweaks to the press. We talked about how, you gave Saliba and Gabriel the ball and marked all the passes. And then on the reverse side, you were making all the runs to where Gabriel and Saliba, again, didn't really know where to mark. And those are Arsenal-specific tweaks. I'm not sure we're going to see the same thing against Brentford, but the tactics will still be similar because there's that continuity in the formation. Now, Patrick, are you worried that Brentford's recent strong game against Burnley will push them on, bolster them?
Well, I do, and I kind of piggybacking on what X said about consistency. I said it in the chat with y'all this week. Looking at this should be a comfortable win for Chelsea. I should feel like, you know what? I'm going to get up 7:30 in the morning, going to watch a game, we're going to play well, easy win to start the weekend. But this is where Chelsea in the last 2 years, I would say, maybe.
Yeah, this is where we drop points.
This is where we drop points. This is where we drop points.
Since Tuchel, this is where we drop.
At home to Brentford is specifically.
It will be stupid games like this, yes. Like Bournemouth last year.
I mean, you're talking about a team that may decide, hey, we're going to play a low block, and we're going to hoof the ball up the field
and get one early
to Wisa and Mbomo. And
it's Nottingham Forest all over again.
My man's not wrong. My man's not wrong.
I mean, seriously. So, I am concerned, a little nervous. I think, again, on paper, this should be like a 3-1, 3-0 even, just the way Chelsea's playing. And it may, and if it does, then I really will think that we are starting to turn the corner in terms of where we were to where we can go. But that said, I'll just give my prediction. I went 2-1 Chelsea. With Sanchez and the way the defense does play, sometimes they're good to give up a goal. But I do think that the Palmer, I guess it'll be Mudryk again and Sterling grouping will.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I would not be surprised to see the very same lineup.
Well, see, I think we might actually see Broja. He's been training, so it's possible that we might see him. And if that's the case, we'll go with a heavy press.
Well, he looked decent last time out.
Yeah, I mean, with Broja, we go heavy press, especially to pinch the space between the center backs and the goalkeeper. Love to push on that. That's where Palmer will kind of fall in, and I mean, you saw it with Raya. I mean, he's all in that
shaky.
Space. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I don't know what the lineup would look like. I think defensively it's going to be the same. I think the midfield's going to be the same. Only thing that I could see is maybe sitting Raheem and playing Palmer on the right, Broja in the center, Mudryk on the left. I don't think you could sit Mudryk. You just can't right now. He's in a good run of form. Do you
think Jackson's height might be good because Ethan Pinnock in there is he's good. I think he's Jackson huge. He clears out. Did you remember the game? What game was it that Brentford played recently where he was just clearance after header after he? So
right.
Do you think that Poch will avoid that and maybe go small, and so maybe it will be Sterling down the middle?
I can see that. I mean, truthfully, it's considering that one thing that was very apparent against y'all was we were not trying to cross the ball in the box, except for when the opportunities came. There's been so many games, even this year, where it just seems like we play it out wide, cross it in. And then, you've got
Brentford giants in there.
Yeah,
exactly. What I'm saying.
Brentford's giants.
We struggle against tall teams, man. Like
that's why, because we're throwing crosses into the box. We're not trying to play the ball in between the lines. And so I could see Sterling being, kind of going with a speed element. That's why I also think that, Palmer is going to play in some fashion.
It'll be Palmer Mudryk on the wings.
And of course you got to play Mudryk. I mean,
he's finally confident, man. If he sits him here, I'm really going to question that because it's the one thing this kid lacks is confidence. You can
he gets confidence from a shanked cross. Hey, whatever gives you the confidence.
His recent form has been good. He ends up with a lucky goal, yes, but that's kind of the reward you get in this game if you hustle and you take, like, you know what I'm saying? You'll get the one off of Ake's face just as much as we get one off, some.
Are you going to bring that up literally every time I bring up the Mud Dog accident?
Yeah. Every time.
Sure. Okay. Well, Martinelli certainly gained confidence.
Yeah, so did Rice. Let me tell you. So did Rice.
Yeah.
But he's finally confident. And I think Patrick's right there, man. You can't sit him. You can't.
Yeah. I don't think he will.
I went 2-1.
2-1 to the Chelsea. I have likewise gone 2-1 to the Chelsea. I think Brentford are not going to have enough going forward, and y'all defend very well, and they will not be able to deal with your press. I think, I don't know where the goals will come from. Probably Mud Dog again. Yeah, I'll give Mud Dog and Palmer another. They'll share the goals again. What you saying, Lewis?
I personally think Chelsea is going to dominate this game and win 2-0. I think Cole Palmer is going to look at the Manchester Derby and say, hey, the Manchester Derby's coming up, but what about me? And then he's just going to play all the way out. And this is what you would be missing. And Raheem Sterling is in the Manchester Derby.
I'm okay with that.
So I was talking about my fantasy team earlier, and they're terrible. Even though they're loaded, for some reason, every week it's like they don't perform. Anyways,
is the manager an issue?
I guess so. I might need to be sacked. Anyways, I believe so much in Cole Palmer that I don't want to put him on my fantasy team because it will ruin his momentum. Every time I buy someone to put in my team, the next week they're terrible.
Patrick, do not buy Chelsea players the rest of this season.
Yeah, just don't even.
Don't do it.
But no, I mean, seriously.
Even when we go to play Luton, even when we go to play Sheffield.
Seriously, I bought Sterling right after the Luton game. And then he put up like one every week. And then I got rid of him. Next week, he scores like 12.
Yeah.
I've learned my lesson, y'all. If you're good and you're on Chelsea, I'm not picking you up. So,
what were you saying, Lewis? Go ahead.
Oh no, 2-0. 2-0. Chelsea domination. It'll be a dominant 2-0. You're gonna be like, man, they should have had more. That's what's gonna happen.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I'm all for it.
Absolutely. I can definitely see it happening. But yeah, hey, is that the first time we've all gone for Chelsea wins?
That's what I'm talking about, baby.
All at the same. We're back. We're back. Yes.
We're back and we lose 1-0.
Yeah. Just like what Patrick was just saying, X, you ruined it.
No, man.
You guys were going to go for a win, but then Xavier comes on. No. We're back. We're back, baby.
I said it last week, man. If we 12 points from this run, we can make top 5.
So on Monday, X is just going to be devastated on Monday.
I won't be here on Monday. I won't be here on Monday.
Oh, they just drop a 2-0 on you, and then
best believe
X won't be back for a month.
Y'all won't hear from me in anything.
X has left the chat.
Done. Pause.
Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, absolutely. Well, there you go. Chelsea definitely going to win. It is a must win because the fixtures are not pretty after that. But yeah, we move. The Arsenal have gone to Sevilla in the Champions League and put in a wonderful performance. One of the better performances of the season, you got to say, away in an absolute cauldron of a environment. The ultras or the whoever that was on the drum and the people around them did not stop singing, shouting, cheering, clapping, making noise, banging that drum the whole game. and we stood up to the test. It was great to see. I thought that in the beginning, it looked like, I don't know if it was Jorginho at fault or what was going on, but there was a few times near the beginning where we couldn't quite figure out. I think Jorginho and Rice kind of didn't really. Their formation was so expansive that when the guys would run into the space in between the lines, 2 or 3 times we just didn't have anybody there. And you could see Martin Odegaard was pressing really high, and then they'd get the ball in behind him, and you could see him turn around like, what? Where are we? Because we would miss a guy. It happened like 2 or 3 times in quick succession right near the beginning. I thought that Martin Odegaard, once again, lackluster. He works really hard. He always works really hard, but giving the ball away a lot, in and out of the game, lots of backwards, sideways, kind of, one touch kind of stuff, 2 touch kind of stuff, not really had a huge effect on the game. But other than that, I mean, Gabby Jesus, absolute fire. What a game this was. Only his second start up top all season long. And he was very poor versus Chelsea, but turn around and it's just the consistency with Jesus, because my God, the man is an absolute baller. He's when he's feeling it, like in Champions League games, 17 Champions League matches, 14 goals, something like 7 or 8 assists, 5 or 6 assists, something like that. The man loves a Champions League night. And the turn for that first goal, and that's Sergio Ramos that he's absolutely Cruyffing, breaking dudes' ankles past. That's a legend that he's just absolutely spinning. It ain't no slouch. And then, of course, Martinelli with the composure. He's got to run half the field. Sometimes I remember back in my playing days, there was a game we played against a team who should have beat us. They did beat us, but they were a much better team. And I had an opportunity, but I got a breakaway that was half field like that. And the goalie made a fantastic save, and I looked like a jacket. Well, but Martinelli slots it home. Definitely good to see. And then Jesus on the second goal as well. He's got no business scoring from there. He's got 3 defenders on him. Man, I mentioned a while back about how I think that, Arteta's ability to improve players, even players who are already class, who are already, strong players, is kind of goes under the radar. And I think that Jesus is getting a little bit better, a little bit more comfortable in what he does and what he brings to our team. And, I think that this performance proves that he's got it.
Mm-hmm.
And if he continues to put up the numbers, because the performance shows what I already knew, that he can do everything, and so if he can continue to put up those numbers, we're going to, I'll be very excited, especially if he can do that in the Premier League like he's doing it in the Champions League. And Tomiyasu,
he's finally with Gabby Jesus, he's finally kind of got his consistency and time as well. Like he's finally healthy enough to have the consistency to get picked to play that role. Because I mean, we saw it early last year that where he played that role for you guys. He's a dog. He can be a workhorse. He's a dog.
Yeah.
He's just that
before the injury, he was fantastic, just like this last season. Absolutely.
So I think he's finally, back to that consistent, okay, I'm finally fully healthy. I'm getting my playing time. I'm coming into my form. And that's what you're to expect from Gabby Jesus, man. That's just like you said with the Sergio, I left my headphones on, but I had to eat a piece of pizza. Like you said, man, he does in Sergio Ramos here, and he's an absolute legend. He's got it in him. He's composed. He's supposed to be cool. Good Champions League player. I mean, that's what everybody talks about, Sterling coming up in big games or big moments, big tournaments, stuff like that. I mean, it's just supposed to be that guy for you guys that kind of I've been here before. This is how you handle it.
Absolutely, yeah. And I definitely hope he can continue to do that going forward. I thought that Tomiyasu was fantastic in this game, for sure. I thought that it was very even, really, this game. We didn't really control the game as much as we'd like to. Sevilla were definitely good in spells. They're a strong team, man. Sevilla are a strong team. And this is a very impressive victory. And last thing on this game, Declan Rice, man. Man's a baller, dude. Man is just an absolute monster.
Probably the best signing.
Dude, it's not probably. It's not probably. I get it. James Madison's having himself a season or whatever. But
I meant just as a whole. Like, maybe not just in the Prem. In the Prem, for sure. But as a whole, he's giving Bellingham, man, a run for his money.
Declan Rice might be one of the best.
Impactful. Yeah.
He might be one of the best post-Wenger signings Arsenal's made. Period. This man is immense.
Mhm.
He's Jorginho had another, lackluster performance, and Rice just makes up for it completely. If Partey could just, for the love of God, stay healthy for any amount of get time. He's missed more than he's played for Arsenal.
A hard position to stay healthy at, man, in this league.
Oh my goodness gracious me, but yeah, absolute massive win. Some good performances. Definitely good to get that win because we're 4 points from topping the group. The way it's set up, if we win next week and there's another draw between the other two teams, then we're already through.
Mm-hmm.
So it's massive to see that, and that's our next opponent at home. Sevilla is at home, so if we can do the double over them in the group, we're cruising. We're through. So definitely excited about that. But moving forward to the Sheffield game, we should definitely smash them. Just right out the gate. I'm gonna say, again, the mentality should be 8. These guys are capable of
shipping goals, man.
Having an absolute shocker.
I think they use those blades to stab holes in the ship that they were riding, man. They're sinking.
Absolutely, man. I think that if you look at their games, the ones that they were in and it was tight were the games that they didn't concede early. If we can get a goal or two early on in this game, I mean, Sheffield has 0 comeback power. There is no comeback power there.
No.
So if it's 2-0 at halftime, it'll be ugly. It might get ugly, and it should. Honestly, we should absolutely demolish them. And this is one of those games where, again, it's why you don't play it on paper. So yes, we're expected to win, but yes, you still got to go out and do it. And I think that Jesus did something to his hamstring, apparently.
What?
He come out of the game because of his hamstring, and he asked to come out of the game.
Oh no.
And now, something I definitely wanted to mention in this segment is Arteta's handling of the press, and not tactical defensive presses from Chelsea and Lons and the like, but reporters and questions from pundits and journalists. He lies. I love him, but he just goes on and says a bunch of crap sometimes, and so I'm not sure how trustworthy this. They said Jesus having a scan, but Jesus's interview was vastly different than Arteta's interview, and their responses were wildly different. And so I think Jesus wanted to kind of assure the fans that it was just a scan. I'm fine. He didn't like go down the tunnel or anything. You know, he was sat on the bench for the rest of the game. You know, so I'm hopeful, but I want to touch in on the Raya Ramsdale debate because my wonderful wife Lauren has brought to my attention what I think is really going on, what she called out a week ago, and what I think is actually going on. And what it really is, it's just an Arteta masterclass. He's got everybody looking the other way. And yeah, the Raya Ramsdale thing is giving all kinds of great content to YouTube creators and Arsenal fan channels all across, the internet. But Ramsdale's just had a baby, right? The man's on paternity leave. And Arteta knew this was coming. He knew it was coming. He knows how important family is to Ramsdale. They definitely have a close relationship. You've seen Arteta come out in the press like, I'm the only one who backed him. So they've got a good relationship, good working relationship. And so while there's this smoke screen of, oh, Raya's come in to replace Ramsdale. Well, yeah, for the time that he's with family. And so when Ramsdale is come back from that, I'm sure we'll see him again. And it'll be, an actual battle for the spot. But right now, I won't be surprised if we don't see him, if he has another. Because how much time do they get in England for paternity leave? That's an actual thing. It's not a thing here in America. But in England,
it's like a year or something. They can have as long. It's something long. It's insane.
Well, there you go. So because Ramsdale wasn't on the bench again, but because he's with his family. So if he wants to be with his family again, I don't mind him not playing versus Sheffield. Whatever. As poor as Raya was and as shaky as he was in that game, that definitely must be spoke on. I definitely because if you remember last time I was calling for Ramsdale, I was like, we need to see Ramsdale. Raya's been crap. And not crap, but he's been shaky enough in moments that I'd rather see, Ramsdale at this point. But if Ramsdale, is out because of his family, then let him be with his family. I have no problem with that, and I don't think that Sheffield are going to, do anything going forward. Their only threat really is McBurney, and McBurney, what he does is hold the ball up well and get the long balls and the knockdowns, Well, Haaland does that twice, if not three times as good as Ali McBurney, and we took care of Haaland no problem. So I'm not worried about the defense nor goalkeeping situation, at least for this weekend at all. And I think Arteta's just keeping the press and everybody and all the BS over here on the one side. Meanwhile, him and Raya and Ramsdale are just with these smug smiles over here, like, yeah, all right, we know what's up. We know what's going on.
Yeah,
we're not worried. There's no pressure. There's none of this. Oh, right, Ramsdale's mad. He's leaving. He's going to Chelsea. No, there's none of that crap going on.
He can come to Chelsea.
He's not. He's fine.
He can.
He just signed like a 4-year deal.
Hey man, look.
Literally just signed like a 4-year deal.
He can still come. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, well, Boley out here buying out everybody's contract. Yeah, I get it.
Come on.
I get it. But end of the day, I think we're going to be just fine. Yeah. We might even see some rotation. This might be a Rice in the 6, Havertz in the 8 kind of game. So I don't. And even still, 3-0. That's my prediction is very conservative. Because I think we're just going to control the game and it'll be kind of slow. I think Arsenal 3-0. Yeah.
I hear you on the baby thing. As much as beautiful as that sounds, I think it's just Arteta thinks he's smarter than what he is, and the baby thing just comes and fits in line with what that bails him out. But it doesn't matter. I mean, the team's winning, so none of that matters. Right. It doesn't matter. You're winning games, so whatever the reason is the reason, because that's that. I think it's a 3-0 as well. Arsenal are better than them. I mean, I don't really think there's a whole lot to say to that. I mean,
Right.
I think this is an opportunity for some of your guys who have been playing like to get their form back. Like Zinchenko has been like and this would be a good game for him to get back into form and find who his style. Would be a good game for Havertz to do something.
Finally get one. Yeah.
Do something, right? I think this is one of those games there.
Anything?
Anything?
Something. Get an assist or something, right? But I think this is a good game for confidence boosting as well. I mean, I don't think about the goalkeeping situation because you put the guy in there who's in there. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Long as you don't Onana it, then you're fine. That you're fine.
Don't you put that on me? Don't you put that on my goalkeepers?
I said as long as he doesn't do that. As long as he doesn't do that.
Oh goodness. What'd you think of Patrick?
So I am still here. I haven't passed out or anything.
We're grateful.
So I kind of agree with you with the whole McBurney thing, but I also think that you also have to keep in mind that the mindset is different when you're playing Sheffield than you are playing City. I think that showed against Chelsea. So I do think that there are some scenarios where Sheffield may get a goal. Not saying they will, but they may get a goal. That said, I think y'all really need a get right game. You've been in some battles. You had a battle on Wednesday. You had a battle on Saturday. 2 weeks ago, you had a battle that you ended up winning. But there hasn't been a consistency in terms of saying, okay, we got through that, or we got through the City match. All right, now we know, hey, we're level. We're actually better than them. Let's take our game to another level. And that's the one big thing that I still question about Arteta, getting the most out of the team sometimes. I do think that they kind of take on his personality. Sometimes he's very aggressive, and you see that in the way they play. And then there's some games where he's just kind of laid back, kind of goes into the game pretty confident that you're going to win. And you do, but you don't put on the performance to say, hey, we've arrived. And you don't have to say we've arrived because, of course, the way you played last season. That said, this has potential to be a huge number. It really, really does. I figure we'll probably see Odegaard actually do something, which will be nice to see for once. How did he play on Wednesday? I didn't get to see
poor.
Him.
He was poor. Yeah, very poor. Worst player on the field.
Wow, really?
Yeah, well, the rest of them were good. The rest of our team performed very well.
Right.
Odegaard just wasn't in it.
And he's captain, right?
He is. The thing with Odegaard is people have figured out how to press him. Teams have figured out how to press him out of the game. And so he's going to have to, in turn, figure out what they're doing and ways to get through it. And I think he will. Yes, I've been critical because he's been poor the past few games. But I 100% back him to figure it out.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So I think we see a performance from him. He'll kind of reach that level that is consistency for him based off of last year. So I decided to go with a 4-0.
Oh.
I hope you're right.
Mentioning something about the Odegaard thing. I don't know. I remember you mentioning this before, Jake. He was getting a contract or just signed one. Did he just sign a contract?
Yeah.
Well, then that's the answer. It's not. It connected just now. He got paid.
He's gonna Arsenal it.
Right. He don't got no reason to play.
He's gonna Arsenal it. He's gonna Arsenal it.
He's at home.
That contract.
You watch your mouth.
He's at home eating filet mignon.
He is not.
He's gonna Obama yank it. That's what he's gonna do.
You watch your mouth. He is not the next Yachty.
He's gonna mess you Ozil it. No, he's gonna
Ozil?
Ozil it since he's playing the mid.
I'm out. No, I'm not having it. I'm not having that. He's not doing that.
He got money. What?
It ain't happening.
The man got paid.
What day did he get? What day did he get paid?
I'll do this.
What was the date? And then look at the bet.
I'm not gonna tell you.
Fixtures.
I'm not going to tell you.
I'm now going to look for it. Hold on. I'm going to look for it now.
Now you got Lewis doing homework. Yeah, good.
No, because I just haven't wanted to bring that up because it was literally like right before he started being like the timing matches up.
Oh no.
Perfectly. Oh. And I don't want to bring that up because that's he's not.
September.
He's not a Aubameyang. He's not a Aubameyang.
No, he's not.
You guys, y'all are wrong. You're wrong for that.
As much as I would wish that happens.
It didn't dawn on me because you have been critical of him for like the last 3 or 4 episodes. And I'm like, man, he really hasn't played well. Then I said, wait a minute, wasn't somebody going to try to buy him? Because I remember there was a rumor he had a release clause. And then I remember he got a new contract. And I'm like, well, wait a minute.
Just stop.
1 + 1 makes 1.
4. Stop it. 1 + 1 is 3. Stop it.
Which, speaking of 3, I have a 3-0 going into this. So
yeah.
I think
Martin Odegaard is going to score. You bums.
Wait a minute. So hold up. It says the 22nd of September was the date that it was announced. Hold on. Got to look.
He became your highest paid player too.
Ooh.
As he should be. He should be.
Well, yeah, of course he should be, but
not taking that from him. But hold on now, because this the 20.
Yeah, here come the fixtures. Here come the fixtures.
Uh-oh. Because now we got to see it. Is that it, Jake? I mean, you can own it. It's okay.
Arsenal. All right, we said what? September 20th.
I will be so disappointed if we look back in a couple of years and that's the story. I'll be very upset.
Oh yeah.
Let's see.
The 22nd of September, the following game was Brentford, then it was Bournemouth, then it was Lens. Then
he was good. He was good against Bournemouth. That was the last time he was really good was Bournemouth.
Then it was Lens, which you lost.
We were bad.
City.
And then it was City, which was
bad.
And Chelsea.
He was bad.
And Sevilla.
He was bad.
Sir. Wait a minute, sir. Sir.
Just left the chat.
If he plays in this next game, if he plays poorly, because he didn't even play well. Matter of fact, he didn't play well for the national team either.
No.
Man got paid.
No way.
Eden hazarded it without getting bought first. He just spitted.
You know what? We're moving on. We put our predictions in. Big wins for Arsenal. Big wins for Arsenal. Odegaard with a hat trick. Odegaard's going to have a master class. He's absolutely proving it all. With this segment, I'm done with this segment. I'm done with this line of thinking. This is not happening. This is not happening on my watch. I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of this. Let's move on. Let's absolutely move on.
I was listening to you. I was listening to you.
Oh my goodness gracious me. Yeah, well, there you have it. That's the headline. Martin Odegaard laying eggs. Aubameyang style. Good grief. Martin, I'm calling you out, man. These 3 have called you out mercilessly.
I didn't call him out. I'm just looking at timelines.
X called him out. X called him Aubameyang. He called him Yachty.
He called him Ozil too.
I did call him Ozil.
You're out here looking like the worst villains we can think of in an Arsenal shirt. Bro, pick it up. That's all I'm saying. That's how we're ending the segment.
How you gotta end it, yeah.
That's how we're ending that segment. We're moving on.
You're getting outplayed by a guy that's been on your team for 3
Stop
months.
Stop it.
We're done. We're done with that segment.
We're done. Newcastle. Newcastle had a really strong game, really strong opponent, I should say. Yeah, Dortmund visit Newcastle, visit St. James, and get the win. What a game that was.
Great game to watch for the neutral.
Absolutely. I enjoyed this immensely. Back and forth. Both teams really going for it.
Dortmund scored, Newcastle still, dude, how? I would not sleep for a week. That would haunt me in my dreams, the way this ball hits the bar here.
Yeah.
It's the 88th. How do you hit the underside of the bar and it bounced the other way? Like, the spin you have on this ball is completely wrong.
Microchips.
Oh, it's so dirty. Like,
crazy.
I wouldn't sleep for a week I wouldn't sleep for a week as a winger or a striker. I'd just be distraught. You want to talk about confidence just absolutely shredded through the wood chipper? That's how you do it, is you hit that in the 88. I'd be so upset.
And then they had a chance to tie it.
And they had a chance to hit it again. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely unlucky. This game was very enjoyable, back and forth kind of stuff, and it definitely epitomizes that it's the group of death. Blows the group wide open. Paris are, mean at home and apparently not so much away from home. And so, they smashed AC Milan. And so Newcastle, I mean, they didn't look bad. They looked fine. I thought, should have scored a number of times, but so too should Dortmund. Could have had more as well. Oh
my God, dude!
It's not even like encouraging that Newcastle have lost at home, because Dortmund are good. Dortmund are a strong team.
I'm a big fan of Adeyemi. Big fan.
Yeah, Adeyemi, however you say that.
Big fan.
Fantastic goal. The loop over.
The goal that was
a different game. That was a different yellow team. That was the Young Boys goal I'm thinking of, where they looped it over Ederson. That's what I'm thinking of.
That was it.
But yeah, Newcastle, man. Kind of feel a little bit unlucky. I definitely thought they were good enough to at least get the draw. But
this group's wide open, man. Like,
the only place, the only venue, maybe, I don't know, maybe the only venue that I have not watched a game at yet is Dortmund. I didn't see them. Did they host AC Milan? Because they've played 3 matches. I saw them lose to Paris and then beat Newcastle. Did they draw AC Milan, or did they? I think they beat Milan, because I think they have 6 points.
They have a win and a draw. They have 4 points.
They drew Milan. Yeah. But yeah,
that was in Milan though.
So Dortmund,
right?
I think so. So
3 home games.
So I think Dortmund might finish the group 3 straight home games. So that one's up in the air, man. Definitely up in the air. But Newcastle have an interesting fixture at the weekend. Travel to Gary O'Neill and Wolverhampton Wandering Wolves. Maybe the spiciest game on Saturday. If you don't classify Chelsea and Brentford as spicy. We're certainly not saying Arsenal Sheffield is spicy by any means. So yeah, this one 12:30 kickoff might be a good one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Easy Sunday. I don't know.
It's interesting.
It should be an easy Sunday because Newcastle should come out. That should light a fire under Newcastle.
You never know what you get from Wolves, though.
Wolves have been a tough place to go this season.
Yeah, you never know what you get from them.
They've definitely been. It's definitely not been an easy place to go this season. So that being said, though, I think Newcastle are going to be too much with respect to Wolves' kind of form and prowess this season. I did give them a goal, but I said it would be 3-1 to the Black and White Toon Army. Yeah, just going to be too much on that counter. Wolves will try to play. We've seen Newcastle sit back a little bit sometimes. I don't know if they're going to do that this time, but Wolves definitely are going to try to play. So could be long day on the break.
I got a 1-1. I think Wolves
Really?
draw at home. I do. I think the way Newcastle, I think it's going to hurt Newcastle more than anything. Just sort of that hangover from what could have been, because they've shown that they're pretty inconsistent dealing with sort of things like that, and they have the potential to do things like that. But then you see them, and you're like, well, what team is this? And Wolves at home, to them, they don't seem to care who they're playing. They just, that when they're at home, they play tough. I think it'll be a draw, 1-1.
Yeah, should be a good one.
So I went 2-0 to Newcastle.
2-0.
I think they're going to be hungry. I think they're going to be. They should be hungry. They should be mad. They should be upset. They should come out and want this game, get themselves steered right. I don't know, man. Like you said, I don't necessarily know if that's a fair result of the Dortmund game, because it was back and forth so much, and they had it there at the end. Again, they could have scored. They could have won the game in the end. Like, they could have hit too late, just absolute bangers. But that would make, as a team, that would make me hungry. Like, we almost had it. It breaks your heart, but like, it just makes you just mad enough to come out and hit 6. Like,
Yeah.
So I don't know. And then it just depends. If Newcastle's fly, like we know they can, they hit the high octane game, and Wolverhampton aren't trying to play up to that, it could get bad for Wolves. Like, we've seen Newcastle take command of games, and like I said, I
completely agree. Yeah,
I think they're just going to want it, and Wolves aren't going to be able to withstand the barrage that's going to come at them, especially if they don't come to play, if they don't come to like play them out and open. If they sit back on Newcastle, they're just going to. Because we know no, Tonali's out now, right?
Tonali's banned.
That's his last game. That was the Dortmund game.
The ban came down. He's out.
The Dortmund game was the last time he could field, and they played him. Kudos,
Yeah, he's out. But I think you're right. I think that if Wolves sit back, especially, and then give a goal early,
barrage,
it's over. It could be bad. But again, they're kind of the same as.
The Enigma team this year, yeah. That's
with Newcastle, it's kind of the if you don't concede early, it's like we were saying last week. If you don't concede to them early, you can give them a game. But there is a world, like you're saying, X. If it's 4 minutes in and it's just blitzkrieg and they're already on the score sheet, it could be bad. What you saying, Patrick?
Well, it's a road game, so I think that we have seen from Newcastle that they're totally different away from home, which is the case for most teams. So that's not like any big revelation by any means. But I do think that there is going to be a little bit of extra incentive to show up for this one, especially after what was yesterday? Wednesday? Yeah. Yeah, after Wednesday. Goodness gracious.
What side am I on?
So that said, I do think that I think this is one of those spots where you could get caught looking a little bit ahead because it's one of those things to where I think City kind of got caught looking a little bit ahead going into the Arsenal match. And, we saw what happened to them with the Wolves at Monolou. So I think, though, that Newcastle is strong enough to kind of get through those doldrums. I think I thought Nick Pope was fantastic against Dortmund. That was just a goal that no one's going to save.
Right.
So I think that they will play strong defensively. I think Isak gets on the score sheet. Did y'all see that Murphy went down?
No, is he back? Is Isak okay?
Isak, yeah, he played against
Isak's fine, but I don't think that Murphy is.
Oh, Murphy, that's right.
Murphy might be done. Like, that didn't look pretty at all.
No.
Poor guy grew up a Newcastle fan. is playing in the Champions League at St. James and goes down 4 minutes into his sub appearance. Like, oh, you feel for him.
He's been great this season too. He's having a good season.
He really, really has. But I think Newcastle. I think, like you said, there's a chance for them to blitzkrieg. I don't think they will, but I do think they win comfortably. I went with a 3-1 on this one.
Patrick, stop copying my scores.
I know. I was about to say, you can look at them if you want.
How am I going to catch you up? How am I going to catch you up in the predictions league table? Perfect time to pop that up. How am I going to catch up to you in the predictions league?
Let's go, baby. Coming back.
If you keep picking the same scores I do, I'm never going to catch up.
I had a
okay.
big week.
Tell you, man.
I had a big week, guys.
You did.
I was 75. I had a big week.
You had a big one. You had a big week. Absolutely. We will move on
Chelsea broke my heart, bro. I would have.
Yep.
I nailed it, man. I nailed the Chelsea game.
You would have had even more. Yeah, absolutely. Gotta back the boys.
Especially in that game, I'm not.
X always backs the boys, and maybe that gets them into trouble sometimes.
Especially last season's thing.
Oh yeah,
it ruined me.
Chelsea got a lot of predictors into trouble last season. A lot of people for sure.
Hey, I've nailed the last 2 Chelsea Arsenal games. If you think about it, that's why I beat you in prediction league last year.
So when Chelsea go to the Emirates, I'm going to need you to predict an Arsenal 3-0.
I did pick an Arsenal 3-0 last year.
I'm going to need you to predict that again.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, thank you for that.
We'll see.
Not going to happen.
Yeah. Speaking of results we really, really want to happen, Crystal Palace hosting the Tottenham Hotspur league leading Ange Postecoglou.
This is another, well, technically, I guess, yeah.
Postecoglou.
It's going to be, here's the thing, man. Palace,
they're not good.
They're not good. At the beginning of the season, you look at Palace away and you're like, okay, that's going to be a tough game. Normally, it's going to be, it's a tough game, but also a game most of the bigger clubs are expecting to win. But no Eze, still no Elise.
How do you score goals?
I just when I made my prediction for this one, I hit the keyboard really hard because I was like, this is disgusting. Because I'm just, it's just like I don't see Spurs Spursing it up, man. I just
2-0 all day, dude. Yeah.
That's exactly what I said. I said 2-0. It's exactly because I just don't see anything from Palace.
Jamie Madison probably hits a goal and an assist. Probably
Stop it. Just
dude.
So gross. That's just so disgusting. Stop it.
I agree.
But yeah, I think you're right. Is why it's so gross. That's why that's disgusting. Because I think you're right, and I think this time tomorrow night, Spurs will be 5 points clear, top of the table.
Oh,
disgusting.
That is just you don't want. It's just so nasty. Spurs 5 points clear.
God, dude.
That's gross, man.
What have we done to deserve this?
Big Ange, dude.
They sold Kane. They made a deal with the devil and sold.
They've signed their soul away, is what it is. They've made another Crossroads deal with Crowley, the demon. But no, it's Ange Postecoglou. That's where you look because he's made the best start to any managerial career in the Premier League ever. Again, disgusting to have to say that, but that's true. He's doing big things, got them playing completely different from last season. And I just think Palace are too short right now to offer anything at all in this game, even at home.
Yeah.
Their best bet is to just park the bus.
Yeah.
Grind it out, boys. 90 minutes, 0-0.
Play for a draw. Yeah, don't get scored on.
Seriously, that's their best bet because
don't play them open. God, don't give them
Spurs any space.
Don't give them space. It's over. Don't give them space. They love playing space.
So gross.
I mean,
Son has 7 goals in the league already.
Who?
Youngman's Son is only 2 goals back of Haaland in the league.
Well, that's because every time he scores a hat trick or bust. Like he either scores goals. No, I think
he's just not in the game.
He's not in the game. I think he's 1-0'd a couple this year, but yeah.
Yeah, you need to put Son in the game on your fantasy squad because he's getting a goal. He's scoring.
I would play Son in my fantasy this week. Yep.
Yeah.
But no, I was gonna say I saw who'd they last play? Whoever they were playing. I don't
Spurs'
remember.
last game
Yeah,
was Fulham.
Fulham. Okay,
Hmm.
they had a move in the box where I'm like, oh man, this team's actually really good. Like they play good soccer, football, whatever you want to call it. I mean, it was nice, and it's like, man, they've actually got some quality. Like, what is this? I don't like this. It's not fun. I got a friend who's a Spurs fan, and I need to see if he follows us because I've told him about us. But I mean, I'm happy for him because he's a good guy. But man, Spurs actually being good, like, what is this?
I keep waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah.
Praying.
Yeah.
You know,
Praying for it.
maybe it's the Antonio Conte like run, and then you go into the winter break and then crash.
Plane crash. Just crash.
Yeah. Well, see, another thing that no one is talking about, and it's really got me sad, is that before Bentancur's injury last season, he was by far their best midfielder by leaps and bounds before that horrific injury. And he's going to be back soon. So when he comes back in there, they're going to actually have some backup in the middle, and he'll probably take over Sarr's position. So it'll be Basuma, Bentancur, and Madison in there, and that's an improvement. So they're going to get even better, and I don't like it at all. I don't like it. Did you have a score prediction, Patrick?
I went 3-1 Spurs.
3-1 to the Peacocks. Were you going with 2-0 X? That was your score?
Yeah, all day. All day.
What you saying, Lewis?
I think Crystal Palace is nowhere near Spurs. I think Spurs are flying high and playing quite well. But it's Friday.
It's a short week for Spurs. Like
2-2.
Really?
Yes, I love it.
It's Friday.
I mean, I don't. What does it being Friday have to do with anything?
It's what Patrick. It's a short week. I think it's the
So?
game. Their schedule has been a set way. This is the shortest week they've had. I think that gets them. I think it's 2-2.
But they also don't play for 9 days after this game.
Yeah.
Which means they'll lose that game too. They'll lose the next one, and they're going to draw this one.
Enjoy that.
I can't wait for it.
But here's the thing, and you can understand this because City had this problem, but you saw like Arsenal had it too. When you have too much time off or your schedule gets wonky, it affects your players' form. I think the game, it's the only reason, if this game was on Saturday, I'd pick Spurs 3-0. It's on Friday, 2-2.
I love it. I love it. I love to hear that.
I like the last part where he said they're going to lose the one.
Oh yeah, I like all that. I like all that.
Because you know what fixture that is, don't you, Patrick?
Yeah, all that.
Because it's a Chelsea game.
Yes,
Yeah.
It's a Chelsea game, so let's go.
Hey, I'm cool with
that. If we knock Spurs off, that'd be dope.
Yeah, if you take them off their undefeated one, I would. Yeah, I'll be an honorary blue for the day.
All about it.
But here's my rationale for it. So you got a short week, and so it'll rattle them to the point where they'll have too much time to think about the next game.
Huh?
They lose
the next one.
Gunning for it. Oh yeah,
They'll lose the next one.
Fair enough. You love to hear it. I definitely love to hear it. Yeah, but there you go. Interesting one at Selhurst Park for the Tottenham Hotspur. And we move on to, in my personal opinion, the only other game of the weekend that we've yet to discuss that will actually be a game, but it might be a snooze fest. Bournemouth hosting Burnley it's at Bournemouth, so they have a shot. Maybe. Both these teams have not been good.
It'd be big for Burnley here, man.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about this game is neither of these teams play low blocks.
Mm-hmm.
Bournemouth like to play,
Yeah.
and that's why they've been getting ripped to shreds. They gave Arsenal just a ridiculous amount of space at home, a ton of space, and we decimated them. Only thing is, Burnley. Well, the only thing, yeah, Wolves were their last opponent, and they actually looked good. They looked good for a while, but then they threw the game away. They just literally gave the game away.
Yeah, they did.
Oh yeah.
I think that I just have no confidence in Burnley, none. But I've said it's going to be an open game, and I'm sticking to that. I've said 2-2. I want Burnley to do it, Lewis. I want company. I want to see him do well, but I just, as big as this is, because it's a 6-pointer for sure. I just 2-2.
I got 1-0 to Bournemouth, baby.
1-0 to the Cherries, eh?
I do not think this is going to be a fun game to watch.
Well, there you go.
I think it'll be wide open. And even though I think I said it in the chat that, reality and hope has kind of subsided for Burnley. They are who they are. They're attempting to punch over their weight. So this is not a heart pick. This is about Bournemouth being bad. I think it's 3-2. I think it's actually not a snooze fest. I think because they're both so open that there's just going to be goals. I think it's 5 goals in this game. I got 3-2 Burnley. But the reason I have that is because the last time they played, it was 4-2. Then it was 2-0. Then it was 3-0. There's always goals when they play.
Some goals in there, yeah.
3-2.
So no one wants to play defense in this fixture.
No.
At all. 3-2. 3-2 Burnley.
Fair enough. What you saying, Patrick?
It's actually a pretty good, I think, pick by Lewis. I do think that there will be goals. I think that both teams go for it.
They have to.
I mean, yeah, they do. They do. I mean, this is one of those ones where you can't say it's going to decide their fate this early in the season, but it's going to put them on the wrong track if you lose this one.
Yeah.
Bournemouth is just not, unless they get something, early, they kind of settle into games and they just don't look good.
They haven't won a game yet.
I mean, they just settle into games. They don't look good. I mean, I pointed out previously, hey, they hit Liverpool early. They looked good. Then they settled in, and then Liverpool took over.
Same against Wolves.
Yeah.
Same story.
Exactly. So I went 2-1 to Burnley, and it starts the downward spiral for Michael B. Jordan's club.
Yeah, man might not be long for a job. Iriola. I'm not sure how you say his name.
Mm-hmm.
The Spanish manager might not be. He might be the first one, unless there's a 7-0 on Sunday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We can only. I know Xavier's hoping for it.
Praying for that one, yeah.
That's
But,
only because he wants freaking Potter to go there.
Yes, my man knows it. I'm praying,
Please.
dude, please. The
That would
Spurs writers
be.
couldn't bless me any more than what they put me through last year. That's the justice.
You hear
That's
that?
what I want.
Gods of football. You owe Xavier for last year. Please. Potter to United. Yeah, absolutely. Well, there you go. Bournemouth and Burnley. There will be goals. And, of course, there will be goals in every other fixture that we have left to discuss. So we're kind of spoiled for choice. I think it's time to go to Villa Park. Aston Villa hosting Luton Town.
Welcome to the league, baby.
Is massacre too strong of a word here?
5-0. Call it.
Yeah, that's what I've said. 5-0. Good. Yeah.
5-0. Call it.
I think that's conservative. Like, that's just a safe pick. A 5-0 is a safe pick, I think.
Call it.
Like, this will be a bloodbath. I'm not. There's no sugarcoating this one, man. It's going to be bad.
Yeah.
You better hope that relegation battle don't come to goal difference, because this is going to be bad.
Yeah, Sheffield are like, okay, so now one of our opponents are going to take an 8-0. Good. One of our relegation They're going to take. Hopefully Sheffield are taking an 8-0 at the same time. But yeah, man, Luton. I don't even like. From what I've seen of Luton Town, they have nothing. They have nothing. There's no hope in this game. Zero hope.
Punching above your weight. That's.
I have Adebayo.
And
I mean, he pulled him back.
Against Forest, because Forest went to sleep at the wheel. Forest went to sleep at the wheel and decided to not play defense for the last 10 minutes of the game.
Still got a result.
Yeah, they got a result versus Forest.
Oh, I know. I'm just
It's
saying.
it's something we couldn't do. So you better watch it.
At that point in the game.
Watch it.
No. At that point in the game,
It was 2-0.
it was 2-0, right? Yeah. But on Sunday, at that point in the game, it's going to be 6-0.
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
No,
Yeah, dude. This is bad. If
What are
Luton,
you saying, Patrick?
if Luton come out of their low block at any point, they're done.
Oh,
they're going to get
if they
ripped
leave
to
any space,
shreds. They better. You want to talk about this? Better be a park. You better put every man in the box for the whole game. Just leave them back there.
You leave Fernando Torres at the half line by himself.
Just put every guy in the goal.
They only have 4 in the box.
Just line the goal with your players. Just line up in the goal for the whole game. That's like the only way you're going to not get scored on.
Keeper on the back line playing.
Ghana did that, and they still couldn't stop the US from scoring. So, I mean,
it's bad. It's going to be bad news bears, man. I mean, there's no hope. I just don't see. There's no tactical. There's no tactics. There's no. I can't think of any way. Nothing I've seen from Luton makes me think that they're. I don't even think that they have the wherewithal to not get destroyed.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any way this game is not an absolute mauling.
Put it this way: I'm buying almost all Villa players.
Yeah, like you need to. Yeah, you want to talk about your fancy.
Ollie Watkins and Diaby.
You need to put them starting lineup on the fantasy league this season, this game, because they're gonna stat pad right here for sure.
Diaby can count as a midfielder since he plays a wing. It's really nice.
Stat padding. That's what's happening for sure. What do you think, Lewis?
I got 2-0. I think it's
2?
a dominant. Only 2.
That is conservative as it could possibly be.
4 goals in their last 4 games.
They're gonna dominate him, but I only see 2.
You think they feel bad? Just take it easy. Like you think they just turn like, oh, poor little kid.
Be a Sunday stroll in the park.
Sunday stroll, take it easy, boys.
No, I think Villa's gonna punch him in the face, and they're gonna be like a fulfilling shots on goal. I think it's only gonna be 2.
Fair enough. What you saying, Patrick?
Oh, I went for a bloodbath. 6-0 Villa.
After all that, after what you said, it might be out of my.
I love it. That's
scores. That's all it is.
Yes,
that's all it is.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what? They actually might have something. They got Adebayo. He's out-muscled some guy. They had showed some character to get a point. 6-0.
6-0.
Oh, that was great. That was great.
Matter.
I really, really enjoyed that. I'm not gonna lie. Oh my goodness gracious! But we'll move on to some more relegation fodder, as Everton, who are getting docked, are about to visit the London Stadium and all the bubbles.
Everton are getting relegated, man. I mean, that's one down.
Yeah.
Especially if they lose points.
One down
points,
on a one
-5.
On one, oh God, they'll be in the negatives.
Oh, it'll be the first time.
Will they overturn that? They might finish with negative points.
It'll be the first time ever.
Well, are you allowed to do that, or you just go to 0?
You just go to 0. You have to just go to 0. Or no, you get negative points, and here's how it works: you get negative points, and you have to make them back in the champion.
In the championship, yeah. Just an instant. It's not even points deduction. Just instant relegation. Just
Instant relegation.
Derby County. All of a sudden, hey, you're lucky. You get to be in the Premier League now. Oh my goodness gracious, man! This is just a part of Sunday, Bloody Sunday. It's gonna be a bloodbath.
Yeah, it's
again.
Halloween, baby. Halloween fits right in.
I can't think of any time ever that I've predicted West Ham to maul somebody. But this will be 3-0.
Yes, easily. That might be conservative.
I've gone 3-0. Yeah, Everton will have nothing. And if they come out at all, because it's going to be low block FC. But if Everton come out at all, it's over. And the problem is with this low block FC thing for Everton is they can't defend free kicks. Look who's lining up against them this week. The free kick, Mr. Free Kick,
Sir Free
James
Kick
Ward-Prowse.
Sir Free Kick himself.
You can't. It's over. Everton have nothing, man. It's not quite as bad as Villa Luton, but it's going to be bad.
I have a 2-0.
Yeah.
I think because Everton are just going to sit. Just sit.
I think Sean Dyche is another manager who's kind of week to week right now.
Really? Wow.
I mean, how couldn't he be? They had a decent performance at Anfield and then gave the game away. Ashley Young, way to go, buddy.
Bonehead, bro. Talk about bonehead goals and moves. That was.
Yeah, he was another Gerrard slip of the week.
He was the Gerrard slip. Of the week.
So there you go.
God. You know how many laps my coach would make me run? Do you know how many laps we'd be running?
You know what happened to me one time? I got a red card when I was in youth games for screaming the F word. Nice. And yep, you know me. Yep. And so the next practice coach was like, okay, you get to play goalie all practice because you're not playing next game anyway, so you don't need to practice. So you get to play goalkeeper because you got the red card, you idiot.
Good job. Yeah. It's better than my red card where I handed the ref his yellow back.
That is...
Yeah.
That is some Diego Costa...
My coach is a Vietnam vet. He did not take lightly to me doing that at all.
Well, it's kind of his fault because why would you give it to the person?
No, he held it above me. I took it from him and gave it back. Gave it back.
So you get the yellow referee. You get it.
Man, that's all you are. Is a menace.
You assaulted him because you touched his car.
It was immediate red.
Oh my god!
Rip it out any faster.
Oh goodness gracious! Yeah.
Yeah. Bonehead move, man.
You got a score for us, Lewis?
I'm looking at Everton's stuff, and they're bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in the process of me recognizing they're bad, they have scored 9 goals in the last 5 matches. And so West Ham will beat them 2-1.
2-1 to the Hammers.
2-1.
Bubbles.
Yeah, the bubbles will be flying
across the line.
Absolutely. What you saying, Patrick?
This is the only game I actually struggled picking this week. And there's 2 reasons. One, I'm still not totally convinced that West Ham can break down a low block. They've shown this year that they have struggled to do that. Obviously, that's what Everton's going to do. I think, though, that since they're at home, West Ham will find a way to get through. Mikel Antonio he's a beast. He's going to get something in the box, whether it's on a counter because of a corner kick or a free kick or, whatever, or, there's a corner kick for them and James Ward-Prowse puts it in the perfect spot because it seems like he does that every freaking game now.
Sniper, man.
So I actually agree with Lewis and I went 2-1 West Ham.
2-1 West Ham. Absolutely. Yep, definitely expect West Ham to do the business here versus a poor Everton side. Speaking of poor, Liverpool are hosting Forest at Anfield. Man, Just like I say, another part of Sunday, bloody Sunday.
Mo Salah gets another goal, so that'll be
Yep.
fun. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, Salah just doing Salah things.
Doing salad things, man.
Yeah, man. I gave Forest 1 because Liverpool aren't the best defensively and can be vulnerable to counterattacks, which is literally all that Forest has. At least in my book, with the likes of Alanga, so yeah, I gave him a goal, but Liverpool 3, Forest 1. Too much firepower. The likes of Diaz, Nunez, Salah, Jota was back in last game, so
he had a nice goal today.
Well, they scored 5.
Huh?
They played Toulouse.
I know, but the first goal was a good one by Jota.
Stat padding.
Stat pad.
I mean, he dribbled around. I think he dribbled past 3 guys, nutmegged a guy, and then slotted it.
Stat pad.
Yeah, sounds about right.
A near post. So
yeah. See, Arsenal didn't take the Europa League seriously last season. When you take the Europa League seriously, or at least try in the Europa League, that's what happens.
Yep.
You smash teams.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be light work for Liverpool. Although last season, this fixture, Forest, the only thing you can, one thing you can say about Liverpool that's kind of carried over from last season is they're slow starters.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And so last season in this fixture, they started slow and gave a couple goals. But
their hospital beds were looking a little bit like ours for a minute there.
Yeah, true. But I think that I don't think Klopp's going to let them do that. They're flying high, smashed today, and I think they're going to smash on Sunday. Yeah, 3-1. We got some scores. Anybody?
I'll go.
Yeah,
I went 5-2 to Pool.
Oh wow,
Goal fest.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm more surprised that you think they're going to give 2 goals than that they're going to score 5. I can definitely see them scoring 5.
They let off a little bit, and I remember last year how Forrest gave them problems on the counter,
Right?
And I mean, clearly even though they're probably going to be better in the long run defensively in the midfield, they're not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
Because Henderson and Fabinho, no longer there. So I think that causes some problems. I really do. And I think Andy Robertson's out.
Yeah, he broke his arm for Scotland.
Yeah.
So I don't even know when he's back.
Then you got Trent, who never plays defense. So I mean, I think they get some chances. But Pool's just too much. Salah probably gets a brace. I can't buy him. He's like 13.
Yeah, he costs too much. You can't get him. Him and Holland, you can't get. He costs way too much. I'm not.
If you're predicting, if you're predicting Liverpool to score 5, I'd bet the house that Salah's on the score sheet.
Oh, well, I think he gets a brace. He probably gets 2 freaking assists too in the process. I
hope so, man. I've picked him as my assist king for the prop bets. So what you saying, Lewis?
I got a 4-0 for Liverpool because
bloody Sunday.
I mean, they're not good. I mean, they're gonna punch him in the face 4-0.
Just look at last game for Forest.
Mm-hmm.
Throwing away a lead to Luton, yeah, it's gonna be bad news, Bears.
That was heart, man. Absolute heart.
Did I give you my? I gave you my 3-0. Yeah.
3-0.
Yep.
Man. Well, that leaves us with just the one more bloodbath to get to. Brighton hosting Fulham.
I don't actually, Jake, I don't think this is gonna be a bloodbath.
I don't either. I actually don't.
Really?
I think this is gonna be a grind of a game.
Well, I mean, Brighton got an impressive 2-0 against Ajax today.
They did.
I mean, Ajax are not great this season.
They have not been good this year.
They're literally 17th in the league. They're not doing good. But it is still, that's a prestigious European side, and Brighton kind of swept them aside, 2-0. And Fulham are not good.
Fulham are not good
at all. Struggling mightily.
I think this is going to be a game. I think Brighton are going to struggle in this game. I think it's going to be 1-0. Actually, I'll go 2-1. I think Fulham gets a corner or some counter.
Willian, your boy.
Of course, Willian.
Yeah, duh. But no, just Brighton haven't looked good in the league, man. Like they're struggling in the Prem.
Yeah.
And their boy goes down. They lost
Yeah. Sully Marsh. It's tough.
Sully Marsh.
Or was it Gross? I can never remember. It was Marsh or Gross.
Sully Marsh.
Tough. That's tough for sure, but
it's just I don't see
Fulham
them.
are bad, bro.
I know. But they're gonna play super defensive. So it's gonna be a little bit of a barrage for Brighton, and it's just lacking. I don't know, man. Sully Marsh to me is just kind of that target man. He's a good Premier League.
You don't think they'll put it together? I feel like the run has gone on for far too long. They put a performance together today. I think they'll put it together on Sunday.
I don't.
Well, what's your score?
2-1. I think they
2-1.
win, but I think it's 2-1.
A lot closer than my 3-0, huh?
Yeah. And I think that scoreline is very generous too. I don't think it's going to be a fun 2-1.
Yeah. I disagree. I think Brighton are going to walk. I just don't have much respect for Fulham after what I've seen recently. Brighton have too much, man. Just, Matoma, Ansu Fati is playing good. João Pedro is playing good. He's got himself a goal today. It's when they're on it,
Right.
And I don't think that Fulham have enough to catch them when they're not on it.
Yeah.
So even if so I agree with you that if Brighton are not on it, they'll win 2-1.
Yeah.
If they are on it, 3-0.
Yeah.
What you think, Patrick?
I'm going 2-1 as well. I do think they have to grind it out a little bit. I think honestly, all the transfers are starting to catch up with them. I really, really do. Especially as you start to see some of them, they're losing some guys here and there, and some of that depth's not there. Of course, there's probably some prodigy that's
coming through,
sitting on the bench, and he just hasn't gotten to the level. I mean, like last year, and Ciso comes out of nowhere, and it's like,
well, Adingra, the guy that we first saw in Atlanta, 24, Adingra, he's getting time. He played again today.
He's fantastic. So, I mean, I think, oh God, what's his name?
Deservy?
No.
Matoma.
Espinon.
Stupinian. Yeah. Is he still hurt? I think he's still hurt.
I think he's still out.
Amazing, bro. I'd buy him. If he's healthy, like isn't seriously, long-term impact, I would buy him in a heartbeat.
I don't know. The last left back you bought from Brighton.
Hey, he's playing all right now. You stop it.
Well, he's kicking people all right.
Hey, that's fine. That's fine. It's fine. He's just getting ready for the Tottenham game. That man's gonna come out with a sword and shield in the Tottenham.
Yes.
Becomes a Chelsea legend just for it.
Ready. Oh yeah, you want to pull me by the hair?
I really, we should make like a meme where during the anthems or during like the lineups when they're showing everybody right before they shake hands, they're all dressed in like armor and gladiator stuff. They've got spears and stuff. That'd be hilarious.
But no, I think it's 2-1. I think that Matoma gets one. I don't know who's going to play up front. It could be João Pedro. It could be
Ferguson. Could be Evan Ferguson.
It could be is it Sturridge? No, it's not Sturridge. Is it Sturridge? No.
Danny.
Welbeck. You're talking about Danny Welbeck. He got hurt.
He's hurt.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he got hurt.
So it's either going to be Ferguson or João Pedro. So
I expect Ferguson.
Yeah.
João Pedro's been good off the bench. I think Ferguson will start, personally.
I think this is a game, though, that Fulham they won't have an advantage in the midfield, but it'll be pretty even.
Paulinho has just been non-existent this season.
Yeah.
Just not at the same level.
He got
Yeah.
his bag.
This is true. He did get his bag.
He got his bag. He's done.
Stop it. Stop it. Just stop it. What you saying, Lewis? Don't give me that look.
Well, I was looking at the previous scores, right? So the fixtures are 0-0, 0-0, 2-1 Fulham, 1-0 Fulham. And then I was like, well, but Fulham are not good, so I'm going 3-1 Brighton.
Wow.
Yeah, those close score lines all had one Alexander Mitrovic in the lineup.
And that's the difference, 3-1.
Yeah, absolutely.
True.
Yeah, well, we've all gone for Brighton wins. Totally makes sense. I don't think Fulham are going to have much. Yeah, and that wraps up Bloody Sunday, because there will be goals. There will be blood. It's going to be a massacre. Hopefully, down
for the
at
neutral,
Old
it's
Trafford.
a good weekend for him.
It is a good weekend.
It is. It's a fantastic. But see, the thing that the script writers and the TV guys did, whoever planned out the TV one, was the Manchester Derby is the only game of the weekend. Literally, like that. Yeah, look at this schedule.
Well, Classico is this weekend too.
Yeah, but the problem is that the problem with that for me is it's at the same time as the Arsenal game. I'm never watching. Come on. I don't even watch La Liga, and you think I'm going to watch that over the Arsenal game? Come on. But yeah, I will go back and watch El Clasico. I normally watch the Classicos. It's so should be a good one. Barcelona playing good. Madrid looked good versus Braga, at least. Bellingham, man.
Dude.
Jude Bellingham.
That scored for Barca twice yesterday.
Against Shakhtar?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Second goal,
Another random.
I mean, or maybe he only scored once, but that second goal, like,
oh yeah, the dude that come in and his second touch ever or something was a goal.
I think so.
Yeah.
But the second goal they got, he I think he previously had it saved, or he hit the post. So the second goal, he went upper 90 inside the post, and I'm just like, dude, I have to go back and look who it was, but he was. I'm like, oh man, there's another youth coming through Barcelona, because they're gonna need it, because they don't got any money.
It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
I saw today that they may seriously have to sell players to have money.
Hey, we'll take Gavi. Or Gavi.
Yeah.
All day.
There's no way you're getting him on the cheap.
All day. No, he is 100. I think it has $100 million release clause.
I think it's more than that.
Good grief,
It
man.
might be more than that. It's something
Good grief.
stupid.
Fermin Lopez.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, his goal was nice.
Damn.
Yeah, that should be a fun one. If Jude goes and scores in that one, they're going to start thinking about building the statutes for that guy.
11 and 12. 11 in 12. He's played 12 games in the shirt. He's got 11 goals.
As a mid, baby.
The goal he scored today, just like it wasn't even like it was just like another day at the office. You know, the goal he scored was just so nonchalant. You know, it was just like receives the ball from Vinny and just nice little pass right into the corner. No problem.
No problem.
Whatever. It's what I do. You know,
gave me too much space. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, man's a menace, and look out, rest of the Champions League, because
they're gonna have to get rid of Southgate for him to reach his.
I know. I was about to say, God, I'm glad he's English, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For the
man, gonna have to. It's just like with the U.S. national team, and
I'm telling you, dude. Next summer, he's gonna light it up.
Yeah.
He's gonna light up that tournament next summer. Absolutely, for sure. Well, anyway, guys, that's it for the predictions. We've got them all in there. Hopefully, there's going to be a massacre at Old Trafford. City should go in there and do the business. But there could be some big scorelines this weekend. I'm definitely excited about it. And if you are as well, go ahead and get the likes up on the video. Let's get a big scoreline there on the likes for the video. If you're new, thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It definitely helps us out. We're on our way to 200. We've finally gotten up over 100. I think we're on about 109, 110, somewhere in there right now. So we're on our way to 200. Thanks again for being here. Thanks for listening. Hope you have a wonderful evening, and you will see us next time.